1791, Mozart's Last Year, is really worth a read because that book shows you just how insanely overcrowded Mozart's last year was. 1791 was a bizarre year when he was more busy than almost any human being has ever been. And I'm sure that overexertion really led to his early death, because he was just run down and fell prey quite easily to the streptococcal infection that finally finished him off. What a tragedy for humanity. But the year 1791, it's almost miraculous how much he managed to compose. And Amadeus, one thing that's funny about Amadeus, and yes, it has many fictions, but one thing that it underplays about Mozart's life is just how busy he was in that final year. It doesn't, for example, mention that while he was writing the Requiem and the Magic Flute, he was also composing La Clemenza di Tito. He had to write it in the stagecoach as he went to Prague because the opera had to be completed for the coronation celebrations there in 1791. So he had 3 major works on the go in the weeks leading up to his death. Another book that I happen to like is Philippe Soller's more meditative book on Mozart. It's very interesting. Mysterious Mozart is the name of this publication. It's not famous particularly, although Solers is a famous writer, but he's not a musicologist. This is more of a free contemplation on Mozart, but it's well worth reading. And just by way of a little optional extra, here's a tiny little book by Karl Barth, famous 20th century theologian. Again, somebody writing from outside any musicological discipline, but simply reflecting on Mozart, almost in a theological way. Barth's book is really that of somebody who's in love with Mozart, and I appreciate that. I find it a touching book because he simply approaches his topic in terms of something extraordinary, something close to divinity, which he's explaining in an almost down-to-earth way, and it's very authentic. There's something moving about the book. So Karl Barth's Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart might interest some of you. What's your favourite book about Mozart? Tell me your thoughts, and tell me your thoughts about the books I've mentioned.